ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the report. This is First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah.
What up? Welcome back to another episode, First 12 Ounces. Just two of us. Buddha might jump in here a little bit, few more minutes. But hey, man, what's up, guys? We've been gone for a minute. I've been taking some time, family, whatnots, just handling stuff around the house. Now let's get back into some good old college football, man. What a crazy year of college football and the way they ended. I mean, it's just I think I said it yesterday. You can't open up a social media app and not see uh, a player's name entering the portal, or a player committed here, or
Yeah.
player decided to stay. Like it's nonstop. It is free agency on crack. It's just it's nuts. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I think, like I said, I'm kind of sick of it. It's every time you turn around, it's a name going in or a name coming out, or it's portal overload.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of crazy. Obviously, like this happened last year. I think it's going to get more and more each year. I think the highest percentage we've hit so far this year was like 39% of college football players were in the portal or something like that. And I'm sure that number is always changing, obviously. It's crazy. And I think it's a little out of control, but it's just the world we live in. One thing that I've learned to not really get fired up about is like when you lose depth. Depth is not a luxury that you're gonna have as far as like 5 and 4 star guys sitting the bench. It's just not gonna happen. In very rare occurrences, it might happen. Like maybe a quarterback that's a 5 star, 4 star sitting. But I mean, like an edge guy, a corner, receivers, like these guys ain't sitting the bench, man. I know we'll get more into our individual teams, but it's crazy. I think there needs to be some kind of rules to regulate it a little more. But hey, for right now, it's the world we live in, and we're all just along for the ride. Like you said, you cannot open Twitter right now and not see insert name has entered the transfer portal. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a big key factor for Texas was two of the names that jumped in were two prominent up and coming defensive backs, and well, guess what? They both pulled their names back out of the portal and they're staying on the 40 acres, which is a good thing. And Kobe Black and in Derek Williams, which is huge for Texas. But you still got big misses all over the field for Texas. You got two running backs that are in the portal still. Wiser just actually committed to Florida State, so he's no longer in the portal. And then I think the one that sticks out more than anything else is the our our podcast and my favorite that was while he was wearing burnt orange was Parker Livingston, and now he's across the Red River in a Sooners uniform, and it's something crazy because it's something that I didn't think was going to happen. I don't think anyone thought was going to happen. Even after the fact that he entered the portal, I was like, "There's no way he ends up on OU's roster," and he ended up on the roster right after he made a visit, which was crazy for me.
Yeah, and and not to cut you off, but it also like at some point like it is the portal inevitably and over long term gonna hurt rivalries. So think about it. Like, I mean, Texas and OU players like tend to typically hate each other, right? I mean, just like Bama and Auburn, Bama and Tennessee, Texas and Texas A&M. So if it's a situation where, and look, there's a guy we're going to talk about in a little bit that is in this exact situation, which I'm not going to talk bad about him, of course, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's like you play for a team and you hate this other team so bad, and then you just go play for them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school and like my pride would just get in the way of that, but that's a whole other aspect of the portal. It's like, yeah, I'll go wherever. Just tell me where to go.
Yeah. And I mean, the big question is it money that's driving these kids? Is it snaps that's driving them? Like, what is it? Because you get mixed reviews. Parker said that he was leaving because he wasn't getting enough reps. And then it comes out that he was offered a 6-figure deal and he still turned it down. so it's like, what is it? And then he gets a 6-figure deal from OU. So it's like, what is it? Like, where's he going to end up? What's he doing? Why is he leaving? What are the purposes for some of these kids that are in the portal where they end up? And I mean, we'll see. There's some big names still out there. One that you just alluded to a few seconds ago. I gave you some insider information yesterday, as well as Chauncey. Both of y'all didn't like that information, but I'll go ahead and say it on here with confidence. Cam Coleman will be at the University of Texas within probably the week. That's just some things that I've heard and that have been out there that Coleman's going to be in the burnt orange. But hey, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Let's hear your thoughts on it, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cam Coleman's one of those guys. You know, when he entered the portal, um, it wasn't really a shock to everyone because of the path that Auburn kind of went down late in the year. You know, obviously the firing of the head coach. You know, not a good year. He is way too talented to be wasted on a bad team. Um, you know, when he first entered, you know, there was obviously a lot of speculation of where he'll go. My top three from the start was A&M, Texas, and Bama. Um, you know, he has ties to Bama. Texas obviously needs a wide receiver one. I mean, that's a fact. Um, Texas obviously has a lot of money. Texas A&M has a lot of money, but they don't have a quarterback. Texas has a quarterback. Bama is going to have a quarterback and has money. So it's kind of all bundled together. I don't know if I said it on here, but I told you for sure I thought Texas was going to be the spot that he ended up, just because of the situation Texas was in, and for financial reasons. You know, on the Bama side, you know, I got a few sources on the insider level that they seem like it's kind of a toss up right now. And I'll tell you this: every school involved thinks that they're getting them. That's a fact. Everybody thinks they're getting them. Everybody probably gave their absolute best shot at him. You know, Bama just lost Isaiah Horton last week, and so I think when that happened was kind of when Bama really took it a step up, from what I understand. You know, I hear what you're saying. I know you have people that you trust. I don't think it's a done deal. He ended up staying at Bama a whole nother day than he was supposed to. So there's a lot of talk of like this was a kind of like an obligation visit. Look, I think it's a visit that you have to take, whether it's an obligation to family, an obligation to yourself, or just you don't just turn that visit down when you're from Alabama. You know, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And like you alluded to earlier when we were talking about, there's some of these schools before we start recording. There's some of these schools that their brand is going to make you go on campus. Like you have to go just because the name of the brand and everything else. Smothers, another kid that committed it to Alabama, but was here this weekend in Austin. Um, like those are just names that get put out there, and you're like, I got to make this visit. I think Damon Williams is the name that sticks out to everybody else with all the controversy that happened at Washington when he signed his contract, and then he was like, "Hey, I'm in the portal," and everyone in Baton Rouge was going nuts because that's who Lane kind of wanted secretly, and then that deal fizzled out.
yeah,
But
and
what?
to,
What? Go
well
ahead.
to touch on Smothers. So what happened with Smothers, for those who like may not have followed it, basically he was committed to Bama, went on a visit to Texas, and where it stands right now is it's kind of still up in the air. Nobody really knows what he's going to do, of course. Bama tends to think they're in a good spot because communication has stayed pretty strong through the Texas visit. And Bama gave him a pretty damn good NIL package. Also, like, important note, he kind of went after Bama. He entered the portal, reached out to Bama because he has connections there. And within 3 days, oh, hey, Buddha. Within
Hi.
3 days, he went on a visit to Bama, committed to Bama, and then it was kind of just timing with the whole Texas visit. Like his agent was still fielding calls, Texas calls, and it's kind of one of the schools you just like you have to at least go hear it out. You know, I mean, Texas is in a situation where they absolutely need a really good running back coming in. He kind of fits Sark's offense a lot, similar to DeBoer's offense. You know, he fits it well. So you know, we'll see where that ends up. But yeah, I mean, definitely some schools you just have to you have to give them time of day. It's just the way it is. Because you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Texas did get a 1,000-yard rusher in what's the kid's name? I can't think of his name offhand. The running
Relief,
back from yeah,
relief.
uh Raleek Brown. So that's a big get. You know, it's a position Texas needed to fill. They also got a big time linebacker out of Florida State as well to help out that linebacker position that Texas really, really needed. So we'll see. We'll see. All eyes are pointing to what Cam Coleman does. Like I said, I'm very confident where he ends up, but we'll see how it plays out. But as we touched on it before Buddha jumped in, welcome to the pod, Buddha.
Yeah.
We had just touched on it and just mentioned the debacle that was going on with Williams in Washington and that whole debacle and how it honestly kind of put Sam Levitt on a back burner, which kind of messed things up with what they were doing when they had him on campus, which led to Lane being in Knoxville this past weekend trying to chase down, or a few days ago trying to chase down Levitt and see what he's going to do. And now you got USC's quarterback out here tweeting lays on Lamonto Roulette as soon as he puts his name in the portal. So it's kind of like, what's going to happen at that position? Because LSU's got so many wide receivers, but nobody to throw it to him. Is Juice lining up for y'all at quarterback? Is Juice going to be sitting there taking the snaps?
Potentially. I think it's going to end up. I think Levitt's going to end up in Miami. Like, I ultimately think that's the case. I do think that bridge got somewhat burned, and I think he was trying to get it. There was really good reports on Friday night that it went really good. There was some rumors that it was basically a done deal, but the portal's never done until it's like done, right? I think y'all were just talking about, if I had to guess, y'all were talking about Hollywood Smothers. Like, they're never done until they're done, until paperwork is signed and it's official. The Damon Williams thing was a shit show. I don't know how else to put it. That's all. It was a shit show. I do know, like, all the media reported LSU. LSU was absolutely the number one player in that. Miami and Oregon also were in the mix there. That was a 3-school situation that were in the mix. And I think ultimately what it boiled down to was the 3 schools along with Damon were like, this isn't going to work. Because it was going to be almost like a $12 million hit from my understanding. Right? It was going to be $4 million to pay him, $4 million to pay the school, and a $4 million deduction on your rev share. So I think all 3 schools were like, I'm out of this. Which, if you look at the timing, Oregon got real quiet and then kind of went all in on, and now they're all in on Raiola. Levitt's trip to Miami got pushed to the weekend when that happened. Levitt magically ends up in Tennessee when nobody thought that was happening. There was 3 schools in the mix there. It put LSU in a bad spot. Right, but like I think I said on our live on Friday, like, I'm not going to panic about where LSU sits at the quarterback room until Lane Kiffin rolls out poor quarterback play. I just am going to trust that whoever he rolls out is going to be productive. Like, he's just literally never rolled out bad quarterback play or non-productive quarterback play. So the optics are bad. I'm not in panic mode. I do think they're going to go all in on this Houston Longstreet kid. But we'll see what happens, right? Again, none of it's done until it's done.
Yeah, and to your point of, like, the portal is just nothing's ever a done deal. It's like, how many times have we heard, and not just LSU, just in general, like oh, it's basically a done deal. I mean, I've said it 3 or 4 times just in the last week, and I think I was right once because it's just that's just the portal, dude. It's like everything's like basically a done deal, and then well, bam, somebody's going somewhere else, and you're just sitting here like, huh? But yeah, the whole LSU thing. I mean, obviously, like, I mean, you went from what was it, Sorsby, Levitt to Sorsby to Levitt to Damon Williams to Levitt. So if I'm Sam Levitt, there's no chance I'm playing in Baton Rouge just because of now it's like 3 times that he's kind of been just like, all right, hey, you know what, man? Like, I know you're here sitting courtside right now, but we're actually going after somebody else. So enjoy the rest of your trip, but we're just gonna sit here.
Yeah, and apparently Levitt's dad told Lane to go fuck himself.
Which is
right, like that.
Also, rightfully so. I think any dad would be in that position would do that though. Like,
I do know this with Levitt though. I do think that there's some other schools. There's been some stuff about Levitt that I think some of his camp is rubbing schools the wrong way. I do ultimately think that's not why he's not at LSU. He's not at LSU because LSU mishandled it. But I do think, like, the Kentucky visit, there was some weird stuff. His brother is like trying to rep players, and I think schools are like, this is not. We're not bringing you in to then also financially be tied to half the roster. That's not how this is going to work.
Yeah, and also the whole, like, Lane Kiffin going to Knoxville and being, like, on Tennessee's campus. Josh Heupel's the softest dude alive.
Agreed.
If you don't think if I'm Josh Heupel, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm going straight to wherever Kiffin is, and we're throwing hands. We're just throwing hands, or you're leaving. Like,
you have to.
it's the most disrespectful thing in the world. Like, hey, I'm going to show up at your university and talk to this guy that you have on a visit. It's like tampering. Hello, this is like domestic terrorism at this point. Like you have to do something to him. I mean, dude, Josh Heupel, noted softest coach in the SEC.
I agree.
Also, the big news that popped out this morning that I think me and Cole posted on Twitter. Deuce Knight is no longer a prospect for LSU because he is now a rebel of Ole Miss. So it takes one more name off the board. It's the way everything is falling out and playing out. It's getting to it's musical chairs at where these kids are going, and the rosters are getting smaller and everything's getting tighter. So it's like, who are you going to get? Who are you pulling in? Who are you taking out? Like it's put up or shut up time. We're about to start to see big names disappear off the board, and from then on, it's like build your roster, figure it out because it's time to get rolling.
Yeah, and
Um,
also don't forget, like Miami's still in the playoffs. So is Indiana. Obviously they're both losing their quarterbacks. If I'm not mistaken, this year,
Yeah,
right? And so I mean
correct.
that be two teams that are going to be looking for quarterbacks, and we already know what Indiana does in the portal. And we already know what Miami does in the portal. So that's going to be potentially two more big time quarterbacks coming off the board. Now, will Indiana get a big time quarterback? I don't
They
know,
got Hoover. They signed Hoover
that's right. They do have
from
Hoover.
TCU. Now, I ultimately think if I was putting money on it right now, I would put money on Sam Levitt's the Miami Hurricanes quarterback next season.
Yeah.
Like that's where I would lean. And I also, because the board's so thin, I think Houston Longstreet's going to be the luckiest man on the planet. Because I think LSU is going to throw around money to him just to ensure that he doesn't go anywhere else and he signs paperwork today. Like
Yeah.
I would be almost surprised if we don't get word on Longstreet today at some point today, simply because of the fact of there's no other names, right? Deuce Knight's gone. Raiola looks like that one's done at Oregon. I would think the Levitt train is it. If you'd have got Levitt, you'd have got it yesterday morning or Friday night, right? I think there was it got close. It didn't ultimately. I think they have to get Longstreet, or that's how they're going to view it. I think they're going to throw around like $5.5 million at him.
The whole Levitt thing Friday was another basically done deal situation where everyone's talking about it on Twitter. Everyone's rumbling about it, but it just doesn't happen, man. I mean, the portal is the portal giveth, but boy, the portal sure does taketh.
Yeah, and my stupid ass after 20 beers told the guy that texted me, "Hey, this sounds like it's done." I have to send Pete the text. Whatever. One of the more ridiculous replies I've ever sent somebody. Trust
I
me,
don't even
Cole
know if I
saw it
want
in
to.
the moment. Just one of the more ridiculous things that's ever come out of my mouth. Just,
Oh my goodness.
just complete like, hey, you don't know, I don't know.
Woo!
Oh man, let's get into some of these college football games that have taken place since we've been out. You want to touch in on the most recent, or touch on the ones that we left off on?
Well,
I
look,
know one of them kind of stinks for a little bit.
yeah. Look, I'll get Bama Indiana out the way. Bama played Indiana, lost by 100. Just belt to ass. Um, I still say, and I've said this multiple times, that you're down 10-0 midway through the second quarter. Actually late in the second quarter, and Ty Simpson runs for first down. You're on the 40, crossing their 40. Ty Simpson fumbles. They get the ball. Ty Simpson gets hurt. They score to end the half, 17-0. They get the ball first, 24-0. That play was the play of the game. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. But Indiana's not a team that you're gonna go down 17-0 on and come back like we did Oklahoma. So at halftime, my brain was telling me like, hey, get prepared because this is over. But of course, my heart was still beating, and I still thought we had a chance. But no, yeah, look, I mean, Indiana's a great team. I guess I'll just kind of segue into the most recent game Indiana played. If that's cool with you, Pete.
Yeah, go ahead.
Indiana just beats the brakes off of Oregon. I mean, I don't know what the final was. I think it was like a 30-point game, but in reality, it was like a 50-point game at one point. I mean, it was just
56 to 22 was the final.
From the first play of the game too. Pick six on the first play. Oregon drives down and does score. So you're sitting there like, okay, wait, we might have a ball game here. And I don't think I don't think Oregon crossed the 50 for the next 4 or 5 drives, and Indiana scored every single one. I mean, Kurt Cignetti, I hate him. I think he's a piece of shit, but that's not less. I mean, I'm just so tired of anytime anything happens for Indiana, you got to get a close up of Kurt Cignetti, and he's just like whatever, dude. Like smile. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I mean, Indiana's really good. They're probably gonna. I don't know. Miami's pretty good, but I think Indiana's going to dog walk Miami, if we're being honest. Their average age is like 35 years old or something like that. I mean, they have like a 30-year-old punter, which apparently is more common than I knew. But, I mean, I do think their average roster age, even taking the punter out, is like 22 and a half years old. So, it's like, this is just silly. Yeah, go to hell. I don't care. Well, Buddha's an Indiana fan, so I guess we'll let Buddha talk. You want to switch hats for a second there, buddy?
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
We talked about it on the live when it comes to Indiana. Like, what's their weakness? Is it how we interpret the logo on side of their helmet? Because, like, when I watch them play, I don't have. There's not something I point to and go, if Miami can do X, Y, Z, they'll beat Indiana. Like, when I watch Indiana play Alabama and then I watch them play Oregon, they look like they don't have a weakness. I'm not saying they're flawless, but they don't have a weakness.
Well,
like,
they are pretty damn flawless. I mean, like I haven't seen a single drop in 2 games. I haven't seen a single drop. I haven't seen a single missed blocking assignment. I haven't seen Mendoza make what I would consider like an awful throw. I mean, yeah, some throws could be better, of course. But like, I mean, they're a machine. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. It upsets me.
They play very complimentary football, and it all pays off on the end. And it seems like if you get pressure on Mendoza, he pulls it, and then the speed comes out of nowhere, and you're like, how is this kid that athletic? He doesn't look like that athletic. And he just pulls something off where he pulls something off where he takes what should have been a sack to a 15-yard gain and a first down, and you're like, here we go. He keeps the drive alive yet again. Anytime it's their backs against the wall, they've answered. Anytime it's a big crucial, it happened in the Oregon game. It was like, Oregon can start to get momentum on this 3rd and 8, and they give up 17 or 19, and it's like he delivers. He has time in the pocket, and then if you put pressure on him, he pulls it and he runs it, and everyone's scratching their heads like, where did this kid come from? Like, Jesus.
Yeah. They have third and like medium so much between 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 8 so much, and they just get it every time. I mean, dude, it's awful. It's tough to watch, honestly. Like against Oregon, I remember one play, all the pressure kind of like slanted to like the right side, and they had Mendoza dead to rights, and he just spins out of it and walks for 30 yards on 3rd and 8, and it's just, I mean, what do you do? I don't know.
I think they dog walk Miami. I really do. Like, I can't. It's hard for me to envision a world in which Miami can win the game. Like Miami, because Miami does have issues. Like Miami did their best. If we want to transition to Miami Ole Miss game, like Miami dominated that football game and tried to lose it. Like they physically controlled Ole Miss the whole game, and they just attempted to they dropped 675 interceptions. I never seen a team drop that many picks, and they dropped them. They weren't even hard picks. They dropped balls that were like tipped up, going 2 miles an hour at them. It was incredible how many picks they dropped. I think Indiana's going to get in there, and I think it looks a lot like the Oregon game. I think they just control them from jump.
And I think it's going to be so disrespectful too, because the game's in Miami. I mean, dude, it's going to be tough to be in Miami in your home stadium and just get ran out of it.
They're going to travel well. Indiana's fans are going to travel. We've seen that so far in the playoffs. They travel well.
What was this last game? What did that announcer say? It was at least 75-25 Indiana, if not like 20. Like, dude, and it looked like it when they showed the crowd. You see all red. And look, but I have people I follow, on Twitter and different insiders stuff who were at the Bama Indiana game at the Rose Bowl. And they said at that, it felt like it was like 70-30, maybe even 80-20 Indiana fans. They just travel well. I think Mark Cuban's buying tickets by the thousands and just give them away. I really do. Because these tickets ain't cheap. I'm sorry. Like, I don't believe that Indiana has that many football fans that are like diehard enough to travel week in and week out to these expensive playoff games. Some kind of way they're getting the tickets, and boy, they show up and they're ready.
Yeah. Both statements that y'all made about the national championship game is something that's kind of been done all year, though. Everybody keeps overlooking this Miami team. They really do. Now, let's think. Everybody thought that A&M was going to. Well, I didn't think A&M was going to beat them because I'm never going to pull for little brother. But from then on, everyone was like, "Oh, Miami's about to get bounced. They shouldn't even be in here. They didn't even play for their conference championship." And dude, hats off to Carson Beck because the kid's been showing up and getting shit done. That last second touchdown run that he had, my God, like just pulled it and there was no one near him for miles, and it was just.
Yeah.
But then Ole Miss, what a hell of a game Ole Miss played too, and almost getting back downfield and making something happen. But
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I think the game's going to be close to start, and then I think Indiana ultimately pulls away from it. But don't count Miami out, man. They've been counted out pretty much all year, and somehow or another they're in the national championship. So we got to give them some kind of credit. It's going to be real interesting how it ends, and like me and Cole said, it's going to be interesting what happens portal wise with both of these teams because they haven't really been able to do anything portal wise because they got a national championship they've been trying to play for. I think Indiana pulls it off on top as well. I just don't think it being a huge blowout. I think it's close, and then it's probably a comfortable 10-point win at the end.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's not a knock. For me, this is not a knock on Miami. I think Miami's really good. I just think Indiana's a force. Like, I think right now, it doesn't matter who you put Indiana up against. I would just go, like, I just can't see a world in which they don't. They play almost perfect football. They don't make mistakes. Like Cole said, they catch every football. They get every blocking assignment right. They don't have missed tackles. Like, they just do everything really, really, really good. And their defense is borderline elite. Like, their defense is lights out. They're so good defensively. Mendoza is so nails. I think Miami's good. I think Indiana's great.
Yeah. Look, like to be clear, yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, this isn't a Miami's not good thing. If Indiana plays how they've been playing the last few games, I don't see a world where this game is close. Now, if Indiana comes out and plays bad, then yeah, like this is gonna be a dogfight. But I can only go by what I saw the last two playoff games they played where they blew two teams out. So I got Indiana by 3 scores or more.
Right.
And if I'm wrong, it means that Indiana didn't play well.
That's exactly right.
I think what it comes down to is going to be huge, and a factor is ball control. Because I mean, it almost bit Miami in the ass though, because Miami possessed the ball for 41 minutes of their game, but still only won by 3, which is
Yeah.
nuts. Which is nuts. And not to take anything away from Ole Miss, but IU when they move the ball downfield, they move it down relatively easy on any and everybody with passing and running. So it's like we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be a good one for damn sure. What else y'all got?
Boot, are you going to the game? I know you're like a closet Indiana fan, so I was just wondering.
Considering it. Considering it.
Oh no, I mean that's all I had. I mean, it's, we're like 30 minutes. This is a short one. I mean, I'm on Cam Coleman and Hollywood Smothers watch. Bama has a few other ones. We're all gonna have more and more portal visitors and different commitments and stuff. So I mean, I'm not gonna get into depth with it. Right now I like where Bama's at in the portal. They're filling the spots in the NFL. Got a new punter, which is good because we needed that. New long snapper because we needed one of those. I mean, we'll see what Cam Coleman does. We'll see what Hollywood Smothers does. That's probably. I mean, that's the 2 biggest names I think as of right now that we'll be going after. But again, like that can change. I mean, if you miss on both of them, then obviously that'll change. But all in all, I mean, just wait and see. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the only thing I'd touch on is the 2 teams that lost in the playoffs. At what point are we going to have a real conversation about Dan Lanning? Like, if I start thinking about what's the big games Dan Lanning's won, is it the Ohio State game last year in which Ohio State slid when they could have kicked the field goal? Like, he kind of backdoored his way into that win? Because if not, like, he's losing these games and he's kind of getting throttled in them. Like, I think back to a couple of years ago where the Kalen DeBoer Washington team beat him twice when Oregon was favored in both of those. He got pummeled last year by Ohio State. He got throttled this year by Indiana. Like, at what point are we going to have a real conversation about maybe this is a lot of rah-rah and there's not, the substance isn't what we think it is?
Yeah, I think, and look, I'm guilty of it. I've thought Dan Lanning's a really good coach, and we talked about this on live Friday, Buddha. Every time he loses another one of these big ones, you're kind of like, wait a second, like, is he just an average coach that's very energetic? Maybe.
So it feels like.
I mean, the Indiana thing is kind of like, it's almost kind of fluky because I think Indiana is just that good. But until Dan Lanning goes out and wins a couple of big ones, I don't know that you can really give him too much credit. I mean, look, they did blow out Texas Tech, who was a good team, didn't really play a lot of people. But does that fall in line with like those mega big games, or is that just kind of like another game? I don't know. But, until he goes out and starts making some serious playoff noise and some big wins in their conference, I mean, it's kind of, I guess the question mark is kind of there.
And then, like, I'll touch on Ole Miss, and obviously I'm going to have somewhat of a biased opinion, so I'll get y'all's take on it too.
No.
I think Ole Miss is going to turn back into a pumpkin real quick, right? Like, I think this was my take on live before Cole had gotten, maybe on Friday night or Thursday night. I think Pete Golding did a really good job of galvanizing the fan base and the locker room and going like this, like anti, like fuck Lane, like it's us against the world. Pete Golding, I have no idea what does he look like running a program? Like, how does the recruiting look? How does the making sure you can continue to build rosters? And then ultimately, they looked bad on defense against Miami. They looked porous. They looked like they got pushed around. They kind of got bullied a little bit. Like, what does Ole Miss look like now that they won't have that offensive staff or Trinidad Chambliss, right? Which I don't know what's the bigger loss because they're both mega losses when you look at what it is. I have no idea. I ultimately think they revert back to being like an 8-4, 7-5 team.
Yeah. So here's my thing is, I think Pete Golding is an awful defensive play caller.
Keep going. Finish.
Yeah, I think Pete Golding's an awful defensive play caller. I watched him take Will Anderson, who I think is one of the best pass rushers to ever play college football, and put him in zone coverage his entire second year. Because it was like, you know what? This dude almost broke the single season sacks record last year. We should definitely put him in coverage this year. I don't know how bad Ole Miss will go down to being, just because they do have. I mean, they are getting elite talent still. But no, I don't think Pete Golding's gonna be like this great successful coach that's like gonna pop off.
He wasn't their first choice. Like, it's a fact. No. Their first choice was John Summerall. They wanted John Summerall and they didn't get him. Pete was because the initial thought was that Pete Golding was going to be in Baton Rouge with Lane. That was the talks before Lane got hired. It was like Lane's coming, Pete Golding's coming with him. Yeah. And they kind of got behind the 8 ball and they didn't get John Summerall. And they fell on Pete. I just don't think it's ultimately. I don't think it's got a lot of staying power. I don't know if he can run a program, because you can only take the anti something else so long until it's like, hey, that's great. You got to do something else though. Like, we can't everything we do be fuck Lane Kiffin, fuck LSU. Like, you do have other games to play and you have to build things.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, like I said, I don't think Pete Golding is going to be a good head coach. I don't think he's a good DC. But I just don't know how far Ole Miss will drop down because of him. But I'm kind of in agreement with you, though. I do think they take a significant step back with him.
We shall see. I don't know what happened there. I got booted for some reason. I'm telling what happened. But hey, Pete Golding's got more college football playoff wins than Lane Kiffin. So I mean, he did something.
Good for
Was it
him.
really his team though? Was it really his team though, or really his coaching staff?
No, the
That's
answer is no. That's not even a question. The answer is no. It's not, no, was it his team? It's the easiest question of all time to answer. No.
uh
I had an Ole Miss fan on Twitter today tell me that Lane Kiffin held Ole Miss back. I went, brother, y'all were horrible, the worst team in the SEC forever. Lane Kiffin shows up, you win 10 games every year, and he leaves, and all of a sudden he was the reason you were getting held back.
They're going through it, man. They're going
we
through it.
I get it. Good for them.
we shall see how it all turns out. Fun fact before we get out of here, Cam Coleman was in audience last night when Texas took down number 13 Alabama 92-88. Just wanted to point that out.
It's portal season.
It's portal
Mike and
season.
DeVoe,
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike and DeVoe's
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
that?
I'll give a quick take on that game. I mean, just played awful, played soft. Aiden Sherrill is like at 40% until Bama goes out and actually gets like big men. You know, they're just not going to be in that elite conversation in college basketball. They'll continuously make the Sweet 16. They'll continuously get shots at the Elite Eight. But you want to start making consistent Final Fours, you're going to have to go out and get some big guys. You look at every team that does it consistently. They all have these 7-footers from across the ocean. You know, that they're just ballers. I mean, just angry, tall ballers. And you know, Bama does have one of the most talented rosters in college basketball, especially with Aiden Holloway and LeBaron Philon. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't rely on just really good guard play to win you games at this level. And I mean, hats off to Texas. One of y'all's guys, I don't know which one it was, had like a 28-point night, shot 6 for 13 from 3. I mean, that is incredible in college basketball. But no, yeah, I mean, Texas got the best of us. Luckily, Cam Coleman was already gone, and he didn't stay for the game. Because there was rumors. Well, there was rumors that he was going to stay for the game, and I remember thinking about it, and I was like, man, he's essentially picking between Texas and Bama. I think A&M and Texas Tech are both out of the running for him. And I was like, imagine if he announced it at halftime at the game with both schools there. But no, he left. He actually left around like 5 p.m. From campus. But yeah, no, I mean, hats off Texas. Good season, good regular season win. You know, see y'all in the tournament, maybe.
Yeah, if they make the tournament, let's calm down now. This is the only reason I pointed this out is because it's a big win for Texas over a ranked team in basketball. Because Texas is not that very good. If we're actually talking about full game wise, they played a great game. Had the least amount of turnovers they've had all year, and just managed to get stopped when they needed to. That's what won them the game. It could have been uglier, but Texas is horrible at the free throw line. I think at one point they missed 7, and it was way more than that they missed it in the game. It was like in the second half they missed 7 alone, which was just ridiculous. And I'm like, geez, they're trying to lose this game more than anything else. But I don't know. That's all I got. Y'all got anything else?
Yeah, we canceled basketball. Matt McMahon is a terrorist. LSU played season, so don't go look at any scores because they don't exist. We're taking a hiatus.
Well, that's what I want to do with our women's basketball team. Just cancel the program and just use the money for football. But they don't want to do it. They don't want to listen to me.
Matt McMahon is such a bad. We played
Texas women Texas women are rolling right now. They're still undefeated. So let's keep that momentum going for them.
LSU and Texas played today.
Should be a good one. But I think that's all I got. Y'all got anything else?
That's it. Happy Sunday.
All right, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Hook 'em.
Roll Tide.
First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. First 12 ounces. First 12 ounces, yeah. Y'all better listen up. This sports talking tough. So if you got a cup, go on and raise it up. I'll raise one with you as we talk about the sports. It's raining stats and rumors. Let us give you the